What would you do if the father who abused you your entire life kicked you out in front of your mother, your landlord, and a total stranger, only to regret it moments later? And what if you had the power to take everything from him and walk away with the last laugh? Hi, I'm Lucas, and this is the story of how I got the last laugh after a lifetime of abuse from my father. My dad was never a good father. Actually, scratch that. He was a terrible father. From the time I was a kid, he was abusive, controlling, manipulative, and just plain cruel. He would always try to turn me against my mom, even though she was the one who cared for me, loved me, and supported me. I think he was just jealous of our closeness. There wasn't a good reason for it, just pure bitterness. And when he found out I was gay, well, things got a whole lot worse. The abuse became constant, physical, verbal, emotional, you name it. At some point, I realized I had to get out, for my safety, for my sanity, for my future. So I did. I escaped in my early 20s, and from there, my life took a positive turn. I went to university, became a teacher, got my own little place, and slowly made it into a home. Bit by bit, I filled it with furniture and appliances. It was mine. It was peace. Meanwhile, my dad? He sold everything and started living out of hotels. He was on the road, traveling the country, living this weird nomadic life. The only reason I even knew that was because my sister occasionally mentioned him. We weren't in contact. Then the pandemic hit. Like for so many others, everything changed overnight. I lost my job, couldn't pay rent, got evicted. And ironically, my dad, the one person I never thought I'd have to lean on, had to rent a house because all the hotels had closed. But his place had no furniture. The man was sleeping on an air mattress on the floor. So out of absolute necessity, I reached out to him. I proposed a deal. I said, look, I've got furniture and appliances, but nowhere to live. You've got a house, but nothing in it. Let's combine resources. I'll let you use my stuff. Fridge, beds, stove, everything. If you let me live with you rent-free. And don't worry, I won't be a burden. I'm getting emergency financial aid to cover my expenses. To my surprise, he agreed. But living with him during the pandemic, it was hell on earth. He's a full-on anti-vaxxer, anti-science, conspiracy-spouting nightmare. No masks, no social distancing. He even refused to shower. Meanwhile, I have asthma. I was constantly terrified he'd infect me. And get this, he even threatened to intentionally expose me to COVID just to prove some kind of twisted point. I was only allowed out of my room 2 hours a day, mainly to cook. I wasn't allowed to use the bathroom. Why? Because he didn't want me to contaminate it with AIDS. Just because I'm gay. And no, I'm not HIV positive. He just assumed. When the emergency financial aid ended, I started living off of odd gigs and applied for more permanent aid like food stamps. My mom, who had escaped with me years before and was still by my side, also tried to find work, despite being disabled. But jobs were hard to come by in the tiny town we were stuck in, so we kept living with my dad. Eventually, he picked a fight with the landlord, because of course he did, and we had to move to a new apartment. And yep, I was still pooping in a bucket. But finally, I secured a stable income. Minimum wage, sure, but it was something. I told my mom I wanted out, I was done, but she begged me to stay. He's 79, she said. He helped us during the pandemic, we owe him. She's always been too soft, too forgiving. Still, I agreed to stay, but on my terms. I told him, we split everything 50-50. That means I get autonomy. That means I'm no longer treated like a second-class citizen in this house. I get to use the bathroom, and you don't get to yell at me, threaten me, or berate me anymore. He didn't like it, but he reluctantly agreed. Now here's where it all blew up. Alcoholism runs in my family. I've been sober for over 12 years. But my dad, he drinks like a fish. One day around lunchtime, the toilet flush breaks. Our landlord had made it very clear, if anything breaks, call him. He'd fix it, avoid damage. But my dad, drunk since morning, decided he could fix it himself. I told him not to, repeatedly. But of course he ignored me. He spent hours making the problem worse before finally agreeing to call the landlord. The guy shows up with his handyman, and what does my dad do? He picks a fight with him. Drunk, angry, loud. I try to calm him down, because I don't want us to get evicted again. But he takes that as me undermining him. Right there, in front of my mom, the landlord, and the handyman, he snaps. "Get out of my house," he yells. "I'm tired of your disrespect." He even tries to slap me. But I didn't flinch. I didn't beg, I just said calmly, "I'll be out of your house by the end of the week." Then I turned to the landlord and asked, "I can pay you amount per month. Do you have anything in that price range?" He said yes. I hadn't even seen the place. I just told him, "I'll take it." Over the next few days, I started packing pots, pans, appliances, disassembling furniture. That's when it hit him. He'd messed up. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Packing my things. But I need that. Not my problem." He tried to change his tune, said he'd forgiven me, that I didn't have to leave. I told him, "Oh, I'm leaving." Then he claimed everything was his, called the police on me, said I was stealing, but I'm a meticulous, receipt-keeping, OCD kind of guy. I had everything documented, plus my mom backed me up. Then he tried using guilt, called every relative we had. "He's abandoning me," he cried. And I just told him he kicked me out. I'm just doing what he wanted. At the end of the week, I walked out with everything. The stove, fridge, beds, all mine. Some of it didn't even fit in my new studio apartment, which I now share with my mom. I just sold the extra stuff. I didn't want him to have any of it, especially not the bed he used. That went straight to the trash. He went back to sleeping on an air mattress on the floor. And you know what? I care. I care a lot. It brings me joy to know he's suffering, because he deserves it. It's been 6 months since I went no contact. I don't know how he's doing. Last I heard, he picked another fight, this time with the landlord's son-in-law. He's on the verge of being evicted again. Fingers crossed he ends up on the street. As for me, I'm 31 now, living my best life. My mom's doing better too, even though when we first moved out, she said I was too cruel. But I don't think so. What do you think? Was I right to do what I did? Was I too cruel, or just finally standing up for myself after years of abuse? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story moved you or made you think, leave a like and share it with someone who might relate. Thanks for listening.